Well, hello. My name's Roger. I made it. I didn't know if I was going to. This is chapter 58 of World's Longest Suicide Note. Again, did I already say my name? I think I already did. Yeah, I don't really want to be here doing this today. Yeah, I've just, I'm on muscle memory today, meaning that just having a rougher day, and we're working through it to the best of our ability. Um, and so, yes. Here we are. All right, I'm gonna throw in a little color. Maybe I'll paint those shoes. I gotta paint shoes. Um, all right, moving right along here. It's been a busy week, and uh, I've got some things that are taking energy from me. Nothing like serious, but enough to where it's just kind of that thing. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. And sometimes that's how it is. We just kind of push our body forward, and it kind of remembers what we're supposed to be doing, and then we kind of do that thing. What am I doing that? What am I doing with that? So that's what's happening right now. Is I'm just trying to find a groove. Trying to find a groove. I'm like Stella, trying to get that groove back. Probably, I mean, I'd go to Jamaica or whatever right now, but anyway, enough of that. All right. Yeah, and so on days like this, um, I do a lot of self-talk to myself. And there's a lot of either validating get out or invalidating. And I think that's, a lot of energy is spent on validating thoughts and feelings. But I guess not a lot is talked about, maybe because it's the negative of it, is the invalidating. Because sometimes you got to tell yourself, shut the fuck up. Yeah, sometimes that's a thing that because we're all kind of going through this thing, and that wasn't enough. Now it's going to probably be too much. So yes, we need to, and maybe that's the whole purpose today, is to talk a little bit about the invalidating, and when you should do invalidate and when you should validate. And again, did I say that I'm not a professional at any of this? So when I start talking about it, understand that there's a great chance that I'm wrong. So and I find that out a lot, and I've probably said a lot of things that aren't correct, at least not correct to every person or every situation, for sure. Yeah, but there's not a lot said about the invalidation and the importance sometimes for invalidating things. Obviously, if you're alive, and you're suicidal, you're alive because you invalidated thoughts. You didn't go through with actions that would be detrimental to you. And so, you're aware of invalidation, and I'm glad for that. So you can't not validate. Now let me see if I can get this right. You can't go through life without invalidating some things. You can't. It's not all one way and not the other. There's got to be a definite blend of the two. Sometimes we feel bad about invalidating things because it's like we're so wrapped up in the validation that invalidating seems like, oh, we shouldn't do that, or that's something that's counter to our best interest, because we want to validate everything. Well, you can't validate everything. I mean, and sometimes you validate, then you invalidate. You validate to invalidate, meaning that you have a thought that comes in your head, and you don't really kind of know what the bigger picture is of it or what's the purpose of that. And so you need to kind of validate it, and then you know that's wrong, and then you invalidated it. And so there's nothing wrong with that. It's a thought process. I think the whole idea, whether you invalidate or validate, it's got to be in your best interest, whatever decision, whatever direction you take. Sometimes it's in your best interest to invalidate those thoughts and feelings, because they may do more harm than good. So, like one of those, at some point, that one person who's like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up in an airplane, and then I am going to open the door to the airplane, followed closely by throwing your parachute out of the door, and then you're going to jump out and be dramatic, and go down to your like soar down, grab onto your parachute, which is falling to the earth. Then you're going to somehow in the air put it on, and then that's not how you pull the rip. That's how you do the truck thing. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. You don't, when you parachute, I don't think you do this. I think you do something else. But that's the thing. It's like at some point you need to sit there and validate, like, oh wow, that sounds like something super cool, and I see the value of, like the Riz value of doing something so cool. But then at some point you need to invalidate that and say that is just batshit crazy. I mean, the idea of doing that is just the opposite of cool, and so you need to invalidate it, and that's how it should work, especially if there's a degree of uncertainty somewhere, as to whether this is actually a good idea or not. So, and it's not always that clear cut as far as our day-to-day lives. Sometimes we just don't know. It's like, well, it seems like this would be a good choice. Do I go that route or do I not? And so you have to validate things. I mean, until you can invalidate them or go forward with them. But never be afraid to question or to try to determine more the uh, you know, what it is. So today, I really wanted to not do anything. I mean, I wanted to stay in bed, not move forward whatsoever. And I validated that. I was like, well, it does sound like the proper way to go, as far as today's speaking. But then I had to be like, well, I do have things I have to do, and those are also important. So, anyway, at the end of the day, I invalidated my desire to do nothing, and I went forward. So, and I'll be glad I did, for sure. Once I get more, into the flow of the day, which hasn't happened yet. But this is the give and take. Validate, invalidate. What's best for you in this moment? Oh shoot! Right now, and what purpose does it serve? And is it good for my overall state of being? I'm going to kill you. See, just like right there, I had thoughts about just throwing this thing away. It's like the cap doesn't work. I'm gonna throw it away. But then I thought, well, or for a second there, I thought, I won't screw it on. Screw it, or not screw it. I'm not going to deal with it. Well, what happens? And I invalidated that. I thought about it, and then I invalidated because I just know me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up by the lid, and when I do that, it's going to go all over the place. And I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. So we went a different direction. All right. This is all right here. And that's why I like art so much. Because you're constantly making decisions, and the nice thing is you could totally fix it. If I don't like the color, if I don't like the decision that I made, I can adjust it. I can adjust accordingly. And so, yeah. So when you do that, then it gives you greater latitude. And so it's a good example. Sorry. The other day I was doing a video, and I got a text because I had missed, someone's like, "Oh, I'll see you pretty soon," and I'm like, "Oh, I totally forgot. I didn't put a meeting in my book," and so I was like, "Uh-oh," and so when I hate that drives me absolutely bonkers. When I do that, I hate to do that. I hate to be that guy. And so now I'm a little paranoid. So when my phone kind of kicks a little bit, I'm like, oh, in my head, I'm saying, oh, I missed something. And so sometimes I don't, I try not to check it when it goes off, because a lot of the stuff is just emails or whatever. But I'm talking about my watch. I get notifications to my watch. And so, and that happens kind of all day, but I don't really care for it. But it is nice to just be able to look down and instead of like pulling out your phone, which I think is worse. Anyway, yeah. Am I making sense? I'm rambling. I don't, I'm still kind of getting into the whole flow today. And sometimes it takes a minute. And that's okay. That's all right. And see, I'm validating that. I'm validating, okay, it's fine. I don't know who that is. Someone's outside talking. And so, anyway, today was kind of like a what the hell was that kind of video. But there's going to be times like it because this is how it is. There's days like that. So I'm going to spend the next couple hours just doing some invalidation and some validation and moving forward. But again, I think the biggest takeaway, if I was trying to make a point, it would just simply be, don't be afraid to invalidate feelings. You don't have to always validate. And that is not healthy. And just like it's not healthy to always say yes, sometimes you have to say no to other people and to yourself. And that's a healthy thing to do. So it's how you say it. You still, even if you say no, if you invalidate, still be nice to yourself and to others. You don't have to do it in a mean voice. Like, I said no. Yeah. So be kind to yourself. Keep fighting. And I'll come back in the next one and ramble more about something that may or may not make any sense. All right? Take care.